Most of Americans are mixed.
No, not most Americans are
Americans.
not. Most Americans are not actually half and half, one race and another.
But they have a whole bunch of things going on. Especially if you've been a slave for back then. You got Native Americans. You got the French.
You might.
You got
white people wilding.
The way I think about it is, I think that
I'm
like, the way I think about it is, when I think about somebody's race, one, I ask them what they consider themselves, but then I also think about how they move through the world. Like, what do you think about yourself, but also what do other people think of you, which is not necessarily fair, but it does have an effect, right? Obama technically is half white, but because phenotypically, right, he looks like a black man. Mm-hmm. Most people consider him black.
He would
not trying to be controversial, but he technically does have a white mom or something, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he didn't live the normal black.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's about, yes, he's mixed, but how are you going through life? How do other people see you? How are you treated?
I'm telling you, this thing is a very complicated
It's a very complicated, yeah.
And so this whole idea of, because I think when people talk about race, they think black and white, and it's cool.
I'm not gonna lie. That's what I thought when it comes to.
But then
race.
you got Asian people saying you're being racist against me. So now you got Asian, which is not skin color. It's just a group of people.
Ethnicity. Well, it's actually Asia's a continent, but.
But you got Asians who feel racist against them.
I mean, that's considered a race here.
Exactly,
but it's not skin color no more. It's not skin color.
Did we define it as skin color?
Well, then what?
No. I'm just saying, like, that's a real definition, though.
But what is the race then? If it's not, if you could consider Asians a different race than white and black, how do you identify?
So what? I don't know what I normally hear. I mean, I don't know. It's a good question. So, like, I think
it's put like this. The reason why it's confusing is because one, two. Whenever I see any act of racism, it's as plain as black and white. I never see a black person calling another black person saying, "You're racist against me, Chen. You're racist against me, princess." I never seen a white person call another white person and say, "You're racist against me, white man. You're racist against me, white woman." You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's usually, the optics is usually black skin, white skin. Mm-hmm. So from what I've seen,
or other groups,
or other groups, we go get to other groups. Period. Before I didn't even get to the other groups yet.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get to the Asians and to like your point. Stop Asian hate. I didn't get to Spanish people, Mexican people, or things like that. I was thinking strictly skin color.
Yeah.
Right. But that definition, even though the word or the concept, the social concept of it, construct rather, is fake. Me thinking that way is incomplete. Right? Mm. I guess which one holds? I guess the wrong question to ask is which one holds more weight. That's the wrong question. But it's kind of easy to dismiss if all you grew up around was the simple skin color, and not to have empathy to, oh, I didn't know that you could be racist to groups. Oh, I didn't even know you could be part of the group when it have the same skin color and be racist.
It's colorism.
Two.
In some places. But I know, I know some Africans that don't really bang with black Americans.
And so that's interesting, right? Because
that's nationalism.
I've heard of, I was going to say, like, you talked about ethnicities.
I actually just made it up.
That's nationalism is patriotism to your country, but, or something like that. But, you were talking about ethnicity, I think. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I've heard of, Africans who don't maybe, I guess, think so fondly of black Americans. I've heard of black Americans who don't think so fondly of Africans. Yeah. Same thing with Caribbeans, right? And so to me, it sounds like, I don't know if there's a word for it, but it's like discrimination based on, I guess, perceived ethnicity or ethnicity, right? Because that's what it sounds like to me. Like the ethnicity of somebody might be they might be from an African country, or they
Yeah.
might be from a Caribbean country, or they might be from like the United States of America. But those are all different places that someone might be from. So to me, that sounds like discrimination based on those.
Yes, yes. I mean, I would say, to answer your question, yes, the idea of skin color,
Race.
it is incomplete, but it, like to your point, it birthed from that, right? Because racism was created to empower white people to buy more slaves and not feel guilty. You know, there was the whole science. This is when the world was shifting from religion to science, and so there was a religion aspect to it where it was like, yeah, these are not Christians; they're more heathens, and so we are allowed to enslave them because they're heathens. But then black people, like we always are, we get smart to the game, so we start converting to Christianity, and so they're like, wait a minute, like okay, well. You was born into slavery. You got to remain a slave. Because the Bible says you can't enslave your brothers and sisters. That's what the Bible says. You shouldn't enslave your brothers and sisters. So that's like, well, okay, well, you could be free, but your kids, if they did accept Christ, they still belong to us. They got to accept Christ. You just tell your kid, all right, man, come over to Jesus. And it's like, you know? And so, so then science started to come in, and they were saying that black people, especially from Africa, weren't as intelligent.
It's fake science, yeah.
And it was built for. So now it's
Based off of this fake thing.
Yep.
And then they started putting people in categories, different groups, where they're saying, okay, because he's not smart, he's not all the way human. He's half human, or he's 3/5 of a human. So you put them in that group. You put that, the white people. We're a whole human because we're this smart. And then you start putting all these people in these different groups, and then that's where it comes from, right? So this whole fake science to categorize people, and that's where real racism came from. And so, but then now you fast forward to now. Everything's very, everything's so because I mean. You have a big category, but the more you live with this category, you start to add little subgroups in these categories. So white people got Iranians, they got Jewish people, they got the Celtics or whatever you call those people, and what do you call those Vikings?
I don't even know. Let's call them Vikings. But
okay, you got the Viking white people, you got the Russian white people, you got all these different white
Those are
people.
countries, right? Or groups that geographically based.
Yeah, but there's differences.
Yeah, no, they are.
You got those Norway people that are just big for no reason. Is there Norway? Is there Norway?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just Viking soldiers, but you got the Russian people that they look different from the people in England with their teeth all crooked. Anyways, I don't know what that's about. But you have all these different groups. Even Africa. Africa is one of the most diverse nations in the world. Where you have the shortest continent. I don't know why I said nation.
I know you knew what you meant.
I said nation, but yeah.
it sounded tough.
It
sounded tough.
One of the most
my
diverse
bad.
continents.
Talk.
No, I'm glad you saved me. No, I'm glad you saved me. We're not gonna cut it, but y'all don't come for me.
He knew what he was saying. You knew what you were saying.
But it's one of the most diverse continents in the world where you have the shortest and the tallest people. But if you're looking through the lens of race, they're all black. You have the people in Egypt are closer to white people in Europe than some of the people in West Africa. Like the diversity within Africa is so drastic that DNA wise, you can't get that diversity anywhere else. Like people are closer around each other. The Chinese, the Japanese, the white people, even Australians, they're all closer than the people in Africa are within each other.
It's interesting because I actually read, this was years ago, a similar fact. That it was about black people, period.
Yeah.
And it was like black people are genetically closer to white people. And then they did something and they compared it, and they also talked about how like the most diverse people, I guess, were still within black people.
Yep. So
it was very
So this idea of race.
So hold on, but okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
But question then, and I'll pass it right back.
Go ahead.
You've been around the world to some places like Europe and stuff like that, Africa, you as well. Question: is it as real in those places as it is here in America, or is it defined differently?
It's defined. And I mean, blackness is always going to be a thing. Like even in a
Hold
nation,
on, a thing as in like something to be against.
yeah, even in a nation and with a group of black, where the majority of the people are black, people bleach their skin.
Yeah.
It's an affinity to white people.
That's because of Western influence
Yeah.
and colonization. So it's not, and it's really sad because it's literally trying to be more Western or European. That's what it all comes from. And there's even, I mean, you can go to countries in Africa and they're discriminating against the native people to the land.
Right? It's like me saying you believe in a God called Wawa. Let's call this guy Wawa.
How about to say, please don't tell me you were trying to pronounce a real guy.
No,
Go
no.
ahead.
We all believe in a God Wawa.
What's up,
We
Wawa?
also believe I can speak to Wawa.
I can speak to Wawa.
I say Wawa said we all gotta commit suicide tonight.
I don't believe in Wawa.